lesson from Miss Julie.
Hi friends, it's Miss Julie with Lesson 10 from Max Lucado's book, God Always Keeps His Promises, and this lesson is titled, God Will Bring Down Your Giants. Some people say there are no such things as giants. Those people are wrong. Giants still roam this world. They're very real and very scary. Real giants are not tall guys who stomp around saying fee, fi, fo, fum. Giants sometimes look like that fifth grade bully who won't leave you alone. Other times, they look like a lunchroom full of kids, but no one to sit with. Still, other times they look like a sickness or a sadness. Giants are problems you just don't know how to fix. Giants come in all shapes and sizes, but there's one thing they all have in common. All giants have to be fought. The question you have to answer is, who will do the fighting, you or God? David was just a young shepherd boy when he faced that same decision. Would he fight the giant Goliath on his own, or would he allow God to fight for him? His answer to that question made all the difference.
I will not worry. I will be brave and trust God to fight the giant problems for me.
Today's lesson comes from 1 Samuel chapter 16 and 17. David's brothers were all away fighting battles and defending Israel. And what was David doing? Sitting in the fields taking care of the sheep as his father told him to do. But David was also learning how to fight bears and lions, learning to protect his sheep with a sling and a stone, and learning to trust God to protect him. Then Israel went to war against the Philistines. The Philistines were mighty warriors, and the mightiest of them all was named Goliath. At 9 feet and 9 inches tall, he was taller than all the Israelites. He wore 160 pounds of armor, and his shield was so big that another man was ordered to carry it. Twice every day he marched out to the front of the battlefield and double-dog dared the Israelites to fight him. But no one would. Goliath woke the Israelites each morning with his dares and sent them scurrying into their tents at night with his insults and jeers. Twice a day, for 40 days, he insulted both the Israelites and their God. The men in Israel's army were too afraid to fight Goliath. Then, scrawny young David showed up. His father had sent him with food for his brothers. He'd only been in the Israelites' camp a little while when Goliath marched out to repeat his daily challenge. David listened and waited for someone to charge the giant. Surely someone would stop this giant, but no one did. He looked around. No one was going to go. David couldn't believe it. Furious, he asked, "Who does this rotten Philistine think he is? Does he really think he can speak against the armies of God?" But David's brothers were angry with him. "Who do you think you are? Go home and take care of your sheep," they told him. But David refused. He went to King Saul and asked if he could fight Goliath for the Israelites. King Saul agreed and even offered David his own armor to wear. But David refused, saying, "The Lord who saved me from the lion and the bear will also save me from this giant." David marched out to meet Goliath, stopping only to scoop 5 smooth stones from a stream. He slipped them into his pouch. He carried his stick in one hand and kept his sling ready in the other. At the same time, Goliath marched toward David. When Goliath saw that David was only a boy, he was disgusted. "Do you think I'm a dog that you come at me with a stick?" David shouted back, "You come at me with a sword and a spear, but I am coming in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies. Today he will give you to me. The battle belongs to him." Goliath raised his sword. David, the shepherd, slipped a stone in his sling and slung it. The stone hit that hard-headed Goliath with a crack, and Goliath went down. David defeated the giant with only a sling and a stone, but David knew the truth. He didn't really defeat Goliath. The Lord did. God fought for him.
The battle is the Lord's. 1 Samuel 17:47.
Goliath had only one goal: to scare the Israelites until they didn't even dare to fight. Your enemy, that devilish devil, wants to do the same to you, and he uses all kinds of giants to do it. Some things feel like a battle, and they can be scary, but you have to remember, whose battle is it? You have what David had, a God who will fight for you. You do not march into battle alone. You do not struggle alone. You do not face your giants alone, because God is always with you. And God does more than just promise to be with you. He gives you another, even more amazing promise. He will fight for you. That promise wasn't just for David and his giant. It's for you and those things that scare you too. So next time you hear some giant snort and snarl, threaten and terrorize, remind yourself and him that this battle belongs to the Lord. And our promise to God today is, I will not worry. I will be brave and trust God to fight the giant problems for me.
Dear God, when I have to face something big and scary and it feels like a giant problem, help me remember that you will fight for me. Amen. Thanks for joining us and have a great week.